very nice to be here. Thank you for having us on. I just think, obviously I'm from England, I think it's worthwhile when you travel around the world doing this, wherever you are, if you're not in England, to apologise for everything. I'm sorry for everything that's ever happened, everything that ever will happen. It's all my fault. I apologise profusely. Bless you all. It's just manners. It's just manners. We're having a nice day. What a fabulously trendy city Dublin is. Very smart. It's quite a metrosexual vibe I've noticed out there on the streets today. Do very much like that. I'm a metrosexual. Bow, 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 bow. I'm a busy metrosexual. Bow, bow, bow. My jeans are so tight. Where do I put my balls? You do the maths. Bow, 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 bow. You're savvy. You know as well as I do that the metrosexual is simply a man who's at ease with both his masculine and feminine aspects, and he's the metrosexual. It's nothing new. I remember when I was about 15, in fact, I fell head over heels in love with the girl who played the keyboards in the band Hanson. And, turned out to be one of those pesky metrosexuals. Quite a dark point in a 15-year-old boy's life, I don't mind telling you. Being caught masturbating to Bop. On every conceivable level, that's wrong, isn't it? If I look a bit tired, if I look a bit boggy around the eyes, I'll level with you, because I like you, I'll be honest. I'm absolutely shattered. The reason being, me and my missus currently have a toddler. I'll rephrase that, because that really sounds like we've stolen it. It's our baby, grew into a toddler, so I've not slept for 2.5 years. Good evening. The ageing that happens to you when you have a child, it just ravages you. Last week, a new all-time low, I found a grey hair around my bum hole. Ladies and gentlemen, yeah. I'm not going to tell you quite how I found out. Suffice it to say I was tricked. Certainly looked like a doctor, thinking back. You know, he had a long coat on, kind of calming demeanour about him, warm hands. By the way, it was a busy pub. It doesn't matter. Let's not dwell on it. When a little boy, our son was born at home. Was anyone in the audience born at home? Yeah, it's not that common, is it? It's quite rare. I thought we should probably have the baby in a hospital, but my Mrs. Helen, she was adamant about having a home birth. She tried to convince me by taking me along to these things called NCT meetings, where we met other people who were having home births. Now, I didn't want to prejudge these people, but they tended to be a little bit too la-di-da for my liking, a bit too inclined to share far too much information about the downstairs bits and bobs when you've just met. That's quite awkward, isn't it? I'm in this lady's kitchen. I've been there 5 minutes. She's already informed me, out of nowhere, that she's got polycystic ovaries and an inverted birth canal. Thank you, right? And the men were worse. The men were kind of overly on board, like, oh, hello, hi. Yeah, my name's Rupert. This is my wife, Hermione. She's an Earth mother. And, yeah, we decided not to have our baby in a hospital. No, because we're a couple of wankers. And, yeah... We're really relaxed about the whole thing. It's totally natural. And when the baby pops out, we're having 3-bean chili with placenta and wild rice. Everyone okay with that? It wasn't like that in the end for us at all, thank goodness. My Mrs. Helen, she's from Sheffield. She's old school. She's working class. She was born at home. I'll be honest with you, she was licked clean by a pack of whippets in front of the gas fire. OK, it's pretty normal where I'm from, but obviously not here. Fair enough. We're currently potty training. I'll be honest with you, potty training is the most surreal experience of my entire life. It's unbelievable. It's utterly surreal. It's like having a lovely, friendly, successful, self-made billionaire just confidently striding around your house. Just happily pissing and shitting wherever he sees fit, as far as I can tell. Just randomly, just emptying his bowels all over the shop. Pick that up, dickhead. That's your job, not mine. With utter freedom. Unbelievable. I came down for breakfast the other morning, right? He's in the living room and he dressed himself. Now, I love it when a toddler dresses themselves because the outfits are always spectacular, ladies and gentlemen. And it certainly did not disappoint. I'll run you through. It's a cracking look. You'll all be wearing it next season, right? Stood there, confident as you like, completely naked, utterly Billy Bollocks as the day he was born, except for a pair of tiny shoes and socks. Now, that is a cracking look. That is a cracking look on any toddler. Let's be honest, that's a confident look on any human being, isn't it? That's all I need for my day's activities. Enjoy. I can accelerate, I can turn, I can brake, and I can move, but what's more, I've got ultimate freedom of movement. There we go. Once again, that's yours, dickhead. Pick it up. And he stood there, right? He stood there in the middle of the living room with his belly sticking out like a businessman having to piss behind a tree on a golf course, right? Bold as brass, piddling against the television. Like that. Morning. So a quick piss against the old television there. Glad I wore the shoes. It's an absolute river this morning. There's also a significant amount of urine in the skybox. You'll probably find that out when you turn that on. And what else? Oh, yeah, there's also a turd behind the sofa. Now, I'd get onto that pretty quick if I were you. A few flies gathering out, so chop time is pretty much the essence. And he's just stood there wanging it, bold as brass, and then like 2 boiled eggs and soldiers, please, Dick Splash. I'll carry on with this. It's insane. It's utterly insane. Madness. And things have had to change. I didn't realise that. I have a role now. I know who I am. My job now is to work, to earn money, to buy things, and watch them get utterly destroyed. That's my life now. That's my life. I'd spend all the money I didn't have in the world on a finance deal on a reliable family second-hand diesel estate car, right? We've had it 2 months and it is completely trashed, right? Now, the interior, if you've ever been in a family person's car, is horrific. It's like a wheelie bin with an engine, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Just rotting vegetable matter all over the place. There's actually a topsoil developing behind my back seats, I'm sure of it. And there's always 3 things I can guarantee will always be in the back of this car. There'll always be a baby's book, right? There'll always be some tin foil off some homemade sandwiches because you've got no money left, right? And there'll always be a spoon with some crusty, dry yoghurt on it. Now, if I get pulled over for speeding, they'll think I'm a crack addict with a low reading age, ladies and gentlemen. All the evidence is there, Sarge. He clearly burns up on that spoon and then reads, "That's not my lion, that is tragic behaviour." You have to make change. My life's not about me anymore. I like that. We have responsibilities now, and we had a big move a few months ago. We were living down in London, in South East London. It was incredibly violent, very expensive. And my Mrs. Helen decided we were going to move. It was getting too violent. So she looked at the crime stats, decided we were going to move from South East London to a tiny little village in the Peak District, because apparently there's marginally less gang-related gun crime in the Peak District villages than there is in South East London. Now, it's only when you look at the figures that this really leaps out at you, right? It's not without its problems, obviously, like anywhere. We had a cow tipping last weekend. That's not been solved. Got me suspicions who did it. Well, it was me. Fuck it, I was pissed. But they'll never take me alive. But I think it's boring in all the right ways for raising a family. You know, there's a little kind of little nursery school, little primary school. There's a big retired population, inevitably more old ladies than there are old men, because women outlive men in the latter stages of life, don't you, girls? So exactly. So what I'm saying in a roundabout fashion is, if we have got any 75-plus single men in the audience tonight, seriously, lads, get yourselves over to the Peak District, fellas. It's like the Pussycat Dolls Cocoon Edition over there. It's phenomenal. You like the smell of talc, fill your boots. That's what I say. Get in there. But we've made friends. We have made some really good friends over there. Bill and Margaret are next-door neighbours, and they're both in their 70s, right? But they've become our best friends. I was never expecting it. It's been a lovely relationship to see it develop. We got invited to a wedding, having just moved to this village. That's where I met Bill. Now, someone got out an iPhone. Now, I had no idea that it had iPhones in the Peak District villages. I was blown away by this. And this fella started playing a game called Monkey Shaker. Now, I believe it's an app you can download. It's called Monkey Shaker. It's basically a game where you get 10 seconds to do this as many times as you can, right? Now, obviously, you can do this at home on your own or at a wedding with total strangers, right? I don't know where to look. Everyone starts laughing, so I just lose the plot entirely. The phone makes its way down the bar, right? Everyone's knocking out scores of between 50 and 60, right? It comes to my Mrs. Helen, pressure on. She knocked out a tidy 57. I was proud of her, right? Phone comes to me, I knocked out 68, but then again, I've had considerably more practice than Helen has, especially since the baby arrived, but that's another story altogether. Now, let's not dwell on that. But then I became acutely aware that I was about to hand a wanking game to a pensioner, ladies and gentlemen. I needn't worry. Bill just grabbed it straight off me and went, "Here we go, let's get stuck in there. There we go. There we go." Oh, dear. 23. A lot of arthritis in the elbow. I'm not what it used to be, right? I'm on the floor pissing myself. I can't believe these people are so old but still having so much fun. I turned to Bill and said, "Bill, what is the secret? You guys are still having an amazing time." Margaret grabbed the phone, knocked out 70. Bill went, "There's one of them right there, sunshine." Ladies and gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. I've been Rouse. Good night, lots of love. Cheers, thank you.